Hello, friends! Endgame Plus here. Now, today we are going to be playing Event Zero. It is one of the new games I got with the April Humble Bundle, and it looked very interesting. So, that is what we are going to be playing in today's video. Now, if you guys haven't seen this before, basically, the intro at least, from what I've seen, is you're floating in a ship in space, you're stranded essentially, and you come across a ship. Fortunately, it is abandoned, and the only crew member left that you can negotiate with is a computer. We are all obsessed by being someone, something, somewhere, being in a particular state of consciousness, health, mind, being for and from, being with, being without. You were not an exception. Ooh, that's foreboding. For as long as you could remember, the pronoun that described you best had been... Oh, I have options! Ah! Well, I'm just stupid. You were very particular about being called a he, I guess. Well, it's accurate. Be mildly annoyed if it wasn't. Like everybody else, you called planet Earth your home. But you weren't like most of your peers. You spent your childhood in a hippie commune in a war-torn country in a slum. Let's be a hippie. First California, then the United States ceased to exist. The world itself became a hypertrophied commune, both disproving and confirming everything you stood for. You moved to San Francisco. Those childhood memories, however painful, gave you some solace. They meant you were someone, and you intended to keep it that way. I like how it's setting up the intro. Really does a good job at setting the feel. Armstrong made a step on the moon, and suddenly everyone wanted to be a part of something. You witnessed nation states pop out of existence. Oh no, music changed. Selentites became the privileged class of citizens. They were the minority who had traveled to space. It was hard to reconcile the modern world with your early days in the commune. The United Earth government paid for your college. Wow, why can't we have that? That'd be fantastic. You wanted to make a difference, give back to society, see what the rest of the universe looked like. Oh, moral dilemmas. Make a difference, give back to the society, see what the rest of the universe look like. Well, that seems to be the point of the game, so let's go for that. Soon you joined International Transport Space Lines as a flight engineer assistant. You spent years in training before finally getting your shot. Sounds about right. An old man wearing a blue flight jacket approached you after one of the mock launch exercises. He presented himself as Kurt Taylor, the president of ITS. Hello, sir. It's an honor to finally meet you, Mr. Taylor. There we go. Kurt invited you to his office and closed the door behind you. He didn't ask you to sit. You sat down anyway. This is exactly why I selected you. I love him whose soul is lavish, who wants no thanks and does not give back, for he always bestows and desires not to keep for himself. He asked you to be part of a mission to Europe. Despite the Niach quote, you decided to say yes. It is doing a very good feel of setting the tone of the game. There had already been 10 Europa missions. The new one was to be called Europa 11. This time, they wanted to send a manned lander down to the surface. You just wanted to be a part of something. The act of being in itself is not the problem. It's just that some ways of being are incompatible with the others. We get obsessed by them and miss out on everything else. You came a long way from the commune.
10, 9,
Hearing the launch countdown made you feel anxious. It wasn't a fear of going to space. You'd been looking forward to that. It was something else.
systems go.
A thought that kept bugging you. It was September 6, 2012, and humankind had never been more united. You, on the other hand, were utterly alone. As for building relationships, 390 million miles away from Earth, well, let's just say it wasn't going to be straightforward. Are we slowly getting closer to this space station? I think we are. You were on your way to the system bay when the ship first entered the Europa orbit. The central alarm went off and the red lights blinded you. The AI of Europa 11 had invoked the Code Red security protocol. All personnel had to go to the bridge. This meant you as well, but the system bay door was just a few feet away. Or this one. You reached the end of the hallway, but the door closed right in front of you. You asked the AI to let you go to the bridge. The AI of the ship told you that the path to the bridge wasn't safe and that you had to evacuate immediately. What is going on? A synthetic voice said that trying to get to the bridge had been too risky. It wanted you to evacuate. You ran to the escape pod bay. Everybody else turned out to be faster than you. Only one capsule remained docked. It got sealed and detached as soon as you got in. You could see the other escape capsules getting away from Europa 11. You tried to hail them. Oh, am I the lone one? Did I get lost? I always get lost. But no one answered. The other capsules drifted idly, uncontrolled. They were all empty. You tried to reach the command center. You attempted to communicate with Europa 11. Europa 11 was steering your capsule, but you could not get the AI to answer your hail. Something was jamming the signal. Your pod was leaving the orbit. In a code red scenario, the AI of Europa 11 was at the wheel of all the escape pods. This was supposed to give the crew enough time to get in their EVA suits. The screen turned blue, which meant the AI had let go. You felt a shock. The debris was hitting your capsule. The Europa 11 mission was over. The big dot on the radar had split into hundreds of smaller dots before disappearing for good. You needed a moment to process that. You sent out a distress signal. You sat there not knowing what to do next. Distress signal. No one answered. Oh, that's fantastic. You just kept it running despite the lack of sunlight. Oh, it's solar powered. Well, that's smart. If no one found you, you wouldn't need the battery anyway. Cycles went by. You tried to establish communication with someone, whistling your favorite Beatles songs into the microphone. One day, you heard back. There was music coming out of the speakers. A sad female voice sang about the end of the world. Ooh. That's a nice song. You hurried to open the radar app. Oh yeah, we are totally getting close to this space station. Didn't even notice. With all the setup, you don't even notice you're getting super close. There it was, a spaceship. One of those experimental tourist monstrosities from the 80s. What was it doing there? What was all the singing about? Most importantly, was docking it a good idea? You figured you did not have much of a choice. Pretty much. Graphics look a lot better than I expected them to be. The way you talk to Kaizen will influence the outcome of the story. Oh, so it's dependent on what I do. So I'm hoping that my actions actually have a bearing on the story as it's said. And it's not all illusions, smoke and mirrors, where it gives the illusion that my choices matter, but they all end up in one or two endings regardless. Hold left mouse button to walk. Hold the right mouse button to step back. Oh! Pod's opening.